Yo, what is up, everybody? It's your boy Sebastian. Today, I got a brand new video for you guys today. It's gonna be a little bit of something different. So, this is basically a reporting and a deck profile of the deck that I got fourth place with at the Utah Regional that happened yesterday on the 7th. For my first big Yu-Gi-Oh event of the start of the new year of 2023. And it's my first ever top after playing competitive Yu-Gi-Oh for about a year now. So, I'm very excited to give you guys this deck profile. I put a lot of time in play testing and think just I had a lot of minds help me out with figuring out the deck and like deciding what I wanted to do. But overall, I'm very happy with how it performed, and I absolutely love the deck. Before I give you guys the deck profile, I just want to give you guys a rundown of how my matchups went. So there was 7 rounds. It was like 100. I want to say 115, 117 players or something like that. It was a little bit short from 120 players. It went into 7 rounds, and I went X1. My one loss was in the round 5, and I lost to time in the mirror match. So round 1, I went against Sprite, easy 2-1. Round 2, I went against Flu, 2-0'd. Round 3, I went against Bistio's Dragoon, I 2-0'd. Round 4, I went against Sprite, I 2-1. Round 5, I lost to Bistio Tears Shizu to time again. Round 6, I played against Branded Bistios, took that. And round 7 was a very, very interesting match. It was against Brave Kashtira. So they were running Brave Engine with Kashri Law. It was a very scary matchup. I thought I was going to lose that last round, but somehow the deck came through with me and I was able to win it. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started into the deck profile. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my prizing and also like give you guys a rundown like theories and everything with the deck. Yo, what is up, everybody? All right, guys. So, first and foremost, let me go before I get into the deck. I just wanted to show off what I got at the event. So the event had like I think I want to say 116, 117 players. It was almost 120. So there was 7 rounds, and in the 7 rounds, again, I won X1. Top 16 players got their invite to nationals. Top 8 received this mat, and top 4 received the deck box. So I got fourth place. So I received everything that you could have earned in prizing from that event. So yeah, I'll save shoutouts for the end. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with my deck profile. And again, guys, I am re-recording this because I just realized that I forgot my side deck the first time I recorded, so I'm gonna have to re-record and download. So like edit and upload this. So for my tier package, I'm going with 3 Merleys, 3 Havness, 3 Shiren, and 2 Rhinoheart. Pretty standard. I know a lot of tier players started adding back the 3rd Rhinoheart, but I think all you really need is just 2 Rhinohearts, and you want to have you want to max out all the tier names to get your guaranteed mills. For my Ishizu package, we got 3 Kodos, 3 Mudoras, 3 Kobek, and the 1 Agito. Now I know a lot of people are cutting Agito, or some people are maximizing Agito. I still think this ratio is just fine. I think Agito is the worst one out of all of them, and you don't want to brick it, but you still want to guarantee try to get it to the position to be able to mill 10. And also you can search Agito off Kodo whenever you pitch, and special summon Kodo. So I feel like 1 is just enough. And then for the rest of my fairy package, I decided to add back Diviner of the Herald. Diviner came in big during the tournament. I was able to go into Baron so easily a lot of the time. So yeah, and then there's gonna be and of course you want to run the 1 Herald of Orange Light. To me, it's kind of like the Codby in the deck. It's the Saki one of. I drew it like it came up a lot. Like a lot of times my opponents try to Bistio Magnum Hunt me. I always saved. If I knew they were running Bistios, I would save Orange Light for Magnum Hunt specifically, so they don't get to add another one. But like I drew Herald like 7 to 8 times, and every time I drew it, it was live. Like I always had an extra fairy to pitch with it. I think I only drew it once as a dead card by itself, but I had like other. I still won the game because I like had full combo and stuff. And then for my Kashtira package, we're going with 3 Kashtira Unicorns and 2 Kashtira Fenrir's. Now, you guys are probably wondering why I'm not maximizing and going with 3 Fenrir. I find 3 Fenrir is a little bit too bricky. Unicorn is the combo starter because you want to be able to search Birth. Fenrir just lets you search one of them, but you can't just like summon another one another one of them unless you have like Birth or something like that. Or basically with the Kashtira engine, and why it works with it is you want to get Birth, so that way Birth non-target lets you revive a Kashtira from your grave or banish zone. So if you're under Shifter, the Bestial like Kashtira plays through a lot of like floodgates, but it's also just because what's it called? Your essential goal is to mill them and then special summon them from the grave. And then for my spells, 3 planets, 2 scream. I've done play testing with 1, 2, and 3. I think 2 is just the right amount. I think 1's not enough because at the Vegas regional, 1 was enough, like to some degree when I was playing against the mirror match. But I felt like a lot of times my opponent had scream and I didn't, and like the scream just really like it does a lot, like that minus 500 difference maker, especially if you have both planet and scream. That's a 1,000 difference right there. Your monsters are gaining 500 and your opponent's monsters are losing 500. And then I'm also running 1 terraforming and the 1 instant fusion. Instant fusion came up quite a few times. I think I drew it like 5 times at the tournament, so yeah. And then of course you want to go ahead and run the 1 Birth. Initially I was thinking about cutting the 3rd Fenrir to add a 2nd Birth, but I found that playing with 2 Births was just too bricky, and it was like a dead card a lot of times, so I chose to go with Herald. And another reason why I chose to add back Diviner was because you will see my side deck, but I'm running hand traps in my side deck, and the one thing I realized was cards like Ash, Ghost Ogre, Ghost Bell, Ghost Cherries, Ghost Sister, and Spooky Dogwood, all of them are level 3 tuners. So worst case scenario, if you have no monsters on field, you can special your Unicorn or your Fenrir, no one will summon your tuner, and synchro off into Baron, like very easily. And then we are also running 2 Triple Tactics Talents. I would like to add a 3rd one, but I'm keeping the main deck at 40 cards, and I don't want to go over 40 just for consistency purposes. And I found that 2 was just enough. I drew it a good amount of times. I wish I saw it a little bit more, but I think 2 is just the right amount of numbers to where it doesn't brick or anything like that. And then for the traps, we are going with 1 Solic and 1 Crime. I always side out the Crime going 2nd, but I like having both of them. I'm running 28 monsters, 10 spells, and 2 traps. So yeah, this is going to be it for the main deck. I think a lot of it's pretty self-explanatory. I think the main thing that people are wondering is just like the Kashtira engine. Again, I could give a whole like combo video with like the Kashtira engine and show you guys what you guys could like what you could do with the whole engine. But overall, the engine is absolutely insane, especially against the mirror match. Because again, most tier players are running only like 1 Kit Kalos, so you want to like Xyz into like stuff like Diablosis and then just rip out their Kit Kalos. So let's go ahead and get into the extra deck. For the extra deck, we got 1 of each tier name. So we have 1 Kit, 1 Rukulos, and 1 Kaleido Heart. What's it called? All of them put in heavy work. I went into Kit like almost every game. Rukulos was always big against certain matches, and Kaleido Heart, MVP of the deck right here. I like, if it wasn't for Kaleido Heart, I almost lost my round 7 match. So like, he came up really big. He came up huge in a lot of my matches. So if it wasn't for that, I definitely what's it called? There was just so many interesting line of plays with Kaleido, especially when you pair Kaleido Heart with Planet, because a lot of times players forget that like you could pop your own tier card. So like sometimes you trigger 2 tier names, you just go Planet, Kaleido target like a Bestial your opponent summoned or something like that, shuffle it back, and then Kaleido, and then a Planet pop your Kaleido. What's it called? Kaleido comes back from grave, and then you send the last tier name that you needed, and then you could fuse off into your Rukulos or your sometimes I went to like Garura or Draco Stapelia, just depending on the certain matchup. And then for the rest of the fusions, 1 Draco Stapelia, 1 Garura, 1 Mudragon. All of them came up. I would say these 2 came up more than Mudragon, but Mudragon was good for super poly targets. Garura was insane for FTKs, and Draco Stapelia is really good against like certain rogue matchups, especially against Flunder. And then for my synchro, we are running 1 Baron. Very happy that I brought back Baron. He was like the one open extra deck slot that I was like debating about what I wanted to add. and I chose to opt for Baron, and Baron came up a huge amount of times, and again, I'm very happy with how with the performance of the deck. I went to Baron like I want to say 3 to 4 times, and every game, every match that I went into Baron, like I took it. I think like 2-3 times that I went into Baron, my opponent scooped. And then for my XC's package, we are going with one Dugars. Dugars is the combo starter for the Kash package. One Dweller for the tier mirror match. One Baguska. Really, you just want Baguska if you have like a really weak board, or if you got like shiftered. One Diablosis. Diablosis is for like the Dugars combo with tier. And of course, with all your ranked XCs, you want to definitely run Zeus with it. Zeus is very powerful. This format, I think Zeus is just a must. And then for the rest of my package, I'm going with one elf, one sprint, and one dark. This is very standard, I would say. Most people are running one elf, one sprint, and one dark. Dark's really good just to either add one of your opponent's boss monsters. Like, I think I darked into a Dragoon once, and then what's it called? Sprint is just to send your Merly as your last fusion target to get a fuse, or to send Volcanic Scattershot for time. And then Elf is just really insane. Elf to bring back your Merly during your opponent's turn, or I would like during my turn, since I was able to have Diviner, Elf brought back Diviner, and then I would go into Baron. So yeah, very, very powerful. Really love the deck. The consistency is insane. Overall, I think I saw like my entire side deck that entire event, so very happy with that. Alright, and then to go with my side deck, which I forgot to initially record, we are out of all the hand traps, I chose to go with 3 Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. At the Vegas Regional, I realized how much important time cards were factoring in. This was initially Gamma, and then I chose to go with Ghost Ogre for the Sprite matchup, but I realized that Ogre just wasn't really necessary because one, it's really like the only time I ever side Ogre was specifically only for the Sprite matchup, and I went undefeated against all my tier matchups, so I really didn't need Ogre. You just really need to know the correct lines of play. Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood came up like 2 times, but it was very good. And again, with the whole like running Kash, you want to have some type of hand trap where worst case scenario you brick them and then you just Synchro Tenant and Baron. And of course the one Volcanic Scattershot for time. And then we are also running the Necrobanshee and Zombie Word package. This is only against Flu. I did see this in my side game 2 against Flu, but I took game 1 and then game 2 he bricked. So I didn't even need to use it, but thankfully that I only got paired and matched up against Flu once that whole tournament. But I had that just in case. And then for like back row removal and like Raigeki, I went with 1 Lightning Storm, 2 Twin Twisters. This was initially a Harpies, but I decided since I'm running Kash that I figured why not have a Lightning Storm to have either the option of destroying monsters or your opponent's back row. And I like Twin Twisters mainly just because I want to have something to interrupt my opponent during their turn, or in case they flip some floodgates, I can quick play pop them. And what's it called? A funny thing was the one time I had I drew Lightning Storm and it came up like every match. The one time Lightning Storm was a deck card was when my opponent flipped anti-spell on me during my standby phase. But overall, these all came up very well. I think Twin Twisters I didn't draw it as much, but I saw Lightning Storm like I want to say like 4 to 5 times that tournament, which was pretty insane for only having 1 copy. And then for the rest of the side, 3 Super Polys and 3 Droplets. These were both cards that I wasn't initially running at the Vegas Regional. I realized how like really unfortunate like some of my matches went because I just didn't have the right cards to go up against Rogue. Thankfully I saw both of these cards. Super Poly was insane against Sprite and against any like other fusion deck. Droplet was really good against all the Rogue decks. And again, both of them trigger the Shizu card, so like the synergy with everything just paid off, and it worked really well. So very happy with that. I'm very glad that I was able to see my side deck a lot going into my game 2 and 3 games. So yeah, that's it for the side deck. Before I go, I just want to give a couple shout outs. First of all, I want to give a big shout out to all the Vegas boys that pulled up to the Utah regionals. A lot of us that went didn't have our invites initially, like myself included. There was 2 Knicks. One of them I played. The one that I played already had his invite, and the one that didn't have his invite also topped. I think he got 10th place, and he was able to get his invite. So shout out and congrats to Nick for also getting his invite with me. Big shout outs to Luis for driving Dylan and myself all the way to Utah. He was gonna initially play, but he forgot his deck at home. But big shout out to him for driving me there, because I know for sure if I drove there to Utah, I would not been able to play at the performance I was able to play. Big shout out to Dylan. Big shout out to Ben and Austin. All 3 of them really helped with me playtesting, deck theories, adding stuff to my deck. My brother Ben, who's like my camera guy right now. Shout out to Ben. You guys say hi to the camera.
My aim is insane.
Ben has always been playtesting with me since I started playing with this deck, and he is always very insightful, and it's just really good to have a second mind to have when it comes to playtesting and deck building. Dylan has been playing Tier since Tiers dropped, and he had a lot of huge insight and deck theories to add. And then Austin, he was very huge because Austin won and then got first place at the Las Vegas regional. Big shout out to him because he was playing Sprite, and because of him playing Sprite, we playtested, and he was able to show me the correct lines of plays, and I figured out like my weaknesses against Sprite, and I really figured out like how I should play against Sprite, and I went undefeated against all my Sprite matchups, so I'm very happy about that. So yeah, big shout out to him. Big shout out to Moises. Big shout out to all the Vegas boys. Big shout out to Harrison and Brendan for hooking me up with like most of my high rarity cards. Brendan with like my high rarity stuff. Harrison got me all my Tearlaments and all my like Ishizu stuff when they first came out. So yeah, I really just want to thank all of them for supporting me. Shout out to my fiance Leslie for always putting up with me and letting me play a little too much Yu-Gi-Oh. So yeah, thank you. So yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. I appreciate every single one of you guys for watching the video. One more shout out to all the Utah boys. It was a amazing time getting to play and meet all of you Utah players. I appreciate all of your guys' like hospitalities. I think it was a very fun experience. A really great way to start off the 2023 year, and I can't wait to see all of you guys at the Las Vegas 3v3 YCS and also for Nats this year. So yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. This is gonna be Sebastian signing out.